I'm going to be ranking the best music marketing services in my opinion, and in advance, I offer most of these services, or I have in the past, so I'm pretty familiar with all of them and also the pros and cons. Let's start with meta ads. Between B and A tier, but I'm going to go with A tier, and that's because they're accessible and they can be a great tool to get fans invested into your music. They generate saves and buzz, and you don't really have to worry about luck or virality with them. However, they are pricey and they have a steeper learning curve, and without the right creative and understanding of analytics, you can burn a lot of money really fast. Playlist pitching, definitely S tier, but only if these conditions are met. You use the right company or the right marketer, because there are a lot of scams out there, and you get onto targeted playlists that actually fit the type of music that you make. Now, if you do these things, it's by far one of the best marketing tools, especially for newer artists or artists who haven't tried paid promotion before. Why? For a few reasons. One, it has a low barrier to entry and it's consistent. With the help of a marketer like me or some elbow grease, you can definitely get onto some playlists with fans searching for a feeling or a mood that directly associates with the type of music you make. Two, it's probably the best marketing tool for triggering algorithmic signals, in my opinion. Spotify looks for not just streams, but playlist ads, retention, and saves. And playlisting is a great way to get these going across the board. Three, it's affordable. You don't need $500 in budget to get started with it. Anyone who's like a big playlist hater either had a bad experience with it, whether they got into botted playlists, or just doesn't understand the purpose of playlist marketing. See, it's not a tool to get you a billion streams. Its purpose is to get you exposure to the right audience, trigger algorithmic signals, and increase your Spotify popularity score. Okay, sorry for the rant. Moving on to organic content. I'd say B tier. It's free. It's great at building loyal, long-term fans if you're consistent with it, and it's a grind. So you could make videos for 3 years without any real payoff, but at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of artists do really well with it. If you stay consistent, keyword there. Okay, YouTube videos. If you're in Spain, A tier. If you're anywhere else in the world, definitely C tier. It's not really worth the money and effort unless you're already established or you want to do it just for the love of the game. Influencer marketing. This one's hit or miss. I've seen it work out and I've seen it be an absolute money pit at the same time. I always err on the side of measurable metrics, and to me that means things I can track and not relying on someone to do a dance to your song and not post it on time or use the right hashtag, so I'm going to have to go with C tier. Labels. Oh boy. Some thumbs down in most situations, but if you get signed to a giant or they're offering you like a life-changing amount of money and a platform to really chase your dreams, read your contract carefully, negotiate it, and go for it. However, sometimes artists get desperate and they can get screwed by contracts and lose creative control. And a lot of artists like really want to have a say in how their music's marketed and where their music goes. And I get that, especially these smaller independent labels. So yes, being pushed by a label can be huge for your career, but at what cost? So I'm going to have to go with A tier if it's the right deal, but most of the time, if it's just like an independent label, a small label, C tier. Artist collaborations and features. A tier, definitely A tier. Maybe even close to S tier. Features are an amazing way to get exposure to a different audience, especially if it's a bigger artist you're working with, and you also likely learn a lot from them too. But be careful because a lot of these big artists will charge a ridiculous amount and then send you some old offbeat verse from two years ago that they just want to recycle. So look for artists who are where you want to be at in the next 6 months. I think that's a pretty good milestone. And those are the artists who you should go after. Okay, we're getting there. 2 more here. Clipping or fan pages. S tier for sure, but with a few important things to note. Clipping or fan pages is essentially where you have a company create a ton of fan pages and different Instagram and TikTok accounts for you as an artist. They push out tons of content with the potential to go viral. But this is like great on most accounts, except for the fact that it really only works if you have traction already or you've kind of pre-built a name or a fan base. Because think of it logically, if you see a bunch of crazy pages going off for an artist you've never heard of and has like 4 monthly listeners, it's not going to translate that well, especially with the dopamine and brain rot of TikTok and Instagram. You kind of need to see and understand just the vibe about the artist you're kind of interacting with before you decide to really invest in this guy's music or her music. So yeah, S tier, but only if you have some traction going on. If you don't have any traction and you're at 100 monthly listeners and you got 2 songs out, definitely not the move for you. So yeah, we'll just say we'll you know what, we'll go with S tier for now, but again, only if those stipulations are met. Okay, finally, I'm grouping anime music videos and gaming montages into one, so AMVs and gaming montages. This is pretty much paying to have a creator use your track in their montage video or anime video on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. This is probably somewhere between A tier and B tier, but I'll just say B tier. And that's because people in the gaming and anime community are as loyal as it gets, and they latch onto music. I've actually taken artists like ICAK and Cam Prada to over 1 million streams with this method, but there's only certain genres that do really well in this space, that being rap, dark synthwave pop, indie. That's just kind of how it goes because that's what these fans of these, videos are after. So yeah, that wraps it up. No D tier, which is, I guess, a little more glass half full than I thought it was going to be, but at the end of the day, I offer a lot of these services, like I mentioned before: playlisting, meta ads, AMVs. I also created a pipeline that kind of includes playlisting and meta ads and puts you on the right track. We've seen a lot of success with it so far, and if you're after someone like fan pages, I can definitely connect you with the right people. So drop me a comment, shoot me a DM at GPM Music Group on Instagram. And yeah, if you're interested in what I do, please check out gpmmusicgroup.com, and we'll get working. Cheers.